Man, ain't nothing like a podcast at the beach. This is NL10 Podcast number 14 with your host, Nathan. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you guys are enjoying your time, enjoying the first little bit of, the last little bit of spring. We're starting to get towards that mid to late springtime. It's starting to warm up, starting to feel like some summer weather, and we're at the beach. Now, I don't know exactly how well this is going to go because I am recording, if you guys can tell, I'm all whimsy up here. I'm recording on my phone for video because I accidentally forgot my stand at the house for my camera, and then on top of it, my camera, I tried to do this yesterday and it whitewashes it, so you can't even see me on my typical camera, the one that I use, the one that's sitting right there on top of that laptop. It whitewashes it completely and you can't see anything. So we're going with the phone today. Hopefully this thing works. I wanted to get you guys some audio of maybe the beach. Maybe you guys can somewhat hear it behind me. I don't know exactly how loud that it is. It doesn't seem like it's coming through all that loud. Maybe it will once I'm in post, but we'll see. But man, oh man, I've been down here at the beach for almost 5 days now, since today is Monday. I came down Thursday evening, and I've had a great time down here. My buddy came down, Philip. You're watching this, appreciate you coming down, brother. We had a great time. Also, my brother and his family were down here. We all got to go golf. We got to go eat. We got to do an escape room. Me and Philip did an escape room. I've had a great time and enjoyed myself down here at the beach, getting ready for my 25th birthday on this coming Friday, May the 2nd. I don't know when this will go, probably right after I get done recording it, quite frankly. But I've had a good time. I've had a good time down here and I've enjoyed myself. I actually filmed a vlog for you guys, and an experience that I did today. As a matter of fact, I just got back from it, where I tried out the famous putt-putt and restaurant area or business called Pop Stroke. The co-owner is Tiger Woods, as a matter of fact. Him and a few people built that thing together, and it's an awesome place. And I can't wait for you guys to see it if it's not already out before this thing comes out. I think I'll put this out, and then I'll put that out later. But had a great time. I've enjoyed myself, and I'm getting ready to wind down. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening, and this will be my last night here, and tomorrow I go home. But man, a lot of things have been on my mind since I've been down here. I've enjoyed every single bit of it. And I always like to come down to the beach around this time. Normally right around my birthday is when I'm down here, if not a little bit later on in the year. And it's a time for me to really just kind of sit back, relax, and reflect. And I've been down here, vast majority of it by myself the entire time. Philip came for a couple of nights and he left, I think on Saturday morning, I believe it was. My brother and them left. They left yesterday. We got lunch, and then I was here for the rest of the day by myself, and then today I've been by myself, tomorrow I'll be by myself. But it's been a pretty relaxing time, all things considered. I have been on the move a good bit. I've been walking around Broadway at the beach. If you are from around here and you've been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're not and you haven't been down here, I'd say go check that place out. It's really cool. I enjoy going down there a lot myself. But in that time, I've had a lot of things on my mind, and I like to use time like that, time away from home and everything going on in the day-to-day life, and I like to really think about where I am in my life and some of my flaws and some of the things that I'm proud of myself for, and just really reflect on where I am. And considering it's around my birthday, I like to keep the last year in reflection. Where I was last year compared to where I am right now, which is honestly a really, really crazy difference. And honestly, since the beginning of this year happened, 2025 has been, my world has shifted dramatically. It's kind of crazy to look at it and think about it, but over the last 5 months has been crazy, and it's changed a lot. But the last year for me has been night and day difference between last year and when I was going into being 24, and now that I'm going into being 25, a lot is completely different. How a year can change so much. I feel like this has been the most drastic that it's ever been in my life, and I'm excited about that. That's a good thing. I don't say that in a bad way. That's a really good thing for me. But one of the biggest things that's come up in my mind And this is something I kind of want to touch base on. I know typically we don't go extremely long on these things, and we won't go super long. I'm alternating between arms, so this is going to get fun. But not too long ago, I read this book a little over a year ago, a year and some change ago now. But I read this book called Extreme Ownership, and it's written by two guys, very well known, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Those guys served in the Navy SEALs together. They were in the Battle of Ramadi back in 2005, I believe it was. I forget exactly how long that they were there, but they were there for quite a while. Went through the hardest times of Ramadi and have come back, and they've taken a lot of the lessons that they've learned through that battle when it comes to leadership, and they've put them in a book. And the book released, it's been a number of years ago now, but I had heard about it. I've liked Jocko and liked his stuff and his podcast over the last 4 years now, I believe it has been, maybe 5, since I found his podcast and him and what he does. And I really enjoy the lessons that he teaches, especially in leadership. And that's really where he zones in on his leadership and, taking ownership of things as well. I really like where he comes from and all that stuff. And I've been reading it, kind of listening back through it some again, and listening to some things. And for some reason, a lot of the words that's come out of that book have really echoed in my mind over this last week. We have talked about little by little over the last couple of episodes, especially last episode. We really got to talking about that thing that, people, we get into the motions, and life, we get stuck in a cycle, and we look back after a while after being stuck in a cycle. We want to break it, but we don't do it. We find an excuse, we find something to keep us away from doing whatever it is that's on our hearts and in our minds, and no matter how small to how big that thing is, and we get stuck in the motions, and we get stuck in the cycle, and days turn into weeks, turn into months, turn into years, and now we're years down the road, and time flies just like that. And that's the one thing that we can't control in our lives is time. The good Lord gave us an amount of time, and we don't know how long it is, and we just get to make the most of it what we will. And with that, something has come up to my mind of asking myself a question. Nathan, what are the things that you want to change in your life that maybe you look for the excuse to change? You don't take ownership of. Maybe you are, and let's be real and honest. I've actually been watching a lot of like Kitchen Nightmares and Hotel Hell with Gordon Ramsay, and it's funny listening to these people, these owners, these kitchen owners and these hotel owners, when they're like, oh, we need the help. We're thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and we're not making a profit and everything. And then Gordon comes in and says, hey, this is what's going on in your life. I'm like, oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not my fault. That's that person's fault. That's where I'm going with on this. What are the things in our lives, and what's the thing in my life, or things in my life that I look at and I say, man, I'd like for that to change. But when I start addressing the matter and you start looking at it and it points back to you, you want to shift blame to something. You know what? The reason I'm not physically fit is because my work schedule. That thing really gets me, and I have to have my 8 hours of sleep every day, or whatever the nonsense is that we use. Where are we not in our business life, in our professional life? Well, I don't get there because I just that man's holding me back. What are the things that we're not taking leadership on? Maybe in your own relationships, maybe within your personal relationships with people, your business relationships. Maybe it's a romantic relationship, intimate relationship that you have with somebody that, things just aren't going that way. But it's not my fault. I'm doing my part. It's all their fault. What extreme ownership teaches us and has really taught me is that there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. And we can take leadership and we can take ownership of everything that's going on in our lives. I can't break it down as fluidly as they can. I would really say go listen to that book. If you can't listen or read that book, it's great. Catch little snippets of it. It's awesome. But what are the things that are in your life that you're not being the leader or taking the ownership that you should in? What are those situations? What are those things? What can you do to change that? How can we take ownership of the problems in our lives and the situations in our lives? And you know what? Even if it might not be your fault, how can you take, you know, I could be a better leader in this way. How can I take ownership and be better in this way? For me, professional career, that's a big one for me right now. And I've used a lot of excuses in my life of, you know what, I'm not where I need to be because I'm being held back or something of that nature. And I've used that excuse a lot, and I've used those crutches, if you will, in my life. I've done the same thing when it comes to personal fitness, and that's a big one for me right now currently. I was a smaller kid when I was younger. I got really big when I was in like middle to high school. I've always said I was like a bowling ball with a face. It was ridiculous. People that saw me back in those days, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm a whole heck of a lot better now, but I'm nowhere close to where I need to be. What do I need to do to change that? How do I make sure that when I go out, I feel better? Maybe I just need to take ownership. Maybe I need to be a leader in that and say, you know what? I haven't done my part. Nobody's held me back. No situations held me back. I've had a perfectly clean bill of health, thank the good Lord. I've no major injuries, nothing of that nature. Why aren't I going out there and taking advantage of the health that the good Lord gave me that could be gone tomorrow, and going out there and working hard in my professional career, in my life to become, to accomplish that fitness that I want to tackle. So I really want to get your mind thinking, and I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit. I'm working on these things. We're only 14 episodes into this thing and split up between a couple of years. But what is that thing in your life that you haven't taken ownership of? It's your personal relationship. I actually read a book not that long ago, first of the year, as a matter of fact. Well, back in February, I believe it was. I'm a single guy, and I read this book named How a Husband Speaks, because I want to prepare myself. Like, I've had relationships before, and I've had communication errors, and I've had issues where I haven't handled situations right. How can I be a better man in total, where when those situations come up, whether it be romantic, personal, business, whatever the case may be, that I know how to control emotions, that I know how to speak consistently and listen and hear and understand in the heat of a situation. How can I do that? What can I do to better myself? Because when the communication breaks down, that's my fault. That's what extreme ownership is. You have to take ownership of the problem, whether if it's your fault or not. What can you do better to make the situation better? And I like the way that they put it. Again, I really recommend this book. It's a great book, and maybe on the next podcast we'll break down some of the chapters and whatnot, kind of hit some of the points that I really like in there. But that's what I want to get your mind rolling with. That's where my mind's been all week. That's where my mind's been at. While I've been down here, I walked the beach for like 2 hours this morning, and all this stuff is going through my head. And it's a great time to be able to break down and kind of touch base. You know, there's no distractions when you're away. And I think a lot of people are kind of the same way like me. You know, when you get away for a minute, or you can sit in your vehicle for a little while, or when I was younger, I used to go outside and sit by this big pine tree this big oak tree that we used to have at the house. That's when you can kind of, when the noise kind of dies down a little bit, you're able to really think and get by yourself. And I would recommend to anybody, find that personal time for yourself to be able to ask yourself these questions when the noise isn't there. Because this is something that we have to consistently be cognizant of. We have to be consistently asking ourselves, what can we do to be better? Am I operating at the peak of what I can? And I can honestly say for myself, I have not been. And that's why I'm coming to you guys. I'm realizing that for myself. And I'm realizing that, hey, I'm turning 25. It feels like ever since I hit 20, the clock has just been moving extremely fast. I hit 20, then 21, 22, 23, 24. Friday, I'm 25. And I got a feeling the next 5 years is going to be even faster. And if I'm not careful, and I'm not cognizant of every moment, time's going to slip by. And a lot of things aren't going to get done. And it's going to be nobody's fault but myself. So what is that thing for you? Don't let the next 5 years go flying by. You get up, you take a minute, and you really ask yourself, legitimately, and be honest with yourself. Don't sit there and screw around. Be honest with yourself. Just like I'm having to do with this week. And sometimes you got to eat a little bit of humble pie. Sometimes you just got to get real with yourself and say, you know what? I hadn't done my part. What can I do to be better? Figure out what that is. Write it down. Make a task sheet. Whatever the heck you want to do. However you can compartmentalize that, you go after it. And you go and knock it out because you can. You can. I can and you can. So let's do it. Let's do it together if we will. Pop that down there in the comments. Let me know. If you're willing to share, I'm open on this platform. I'm willing to share. I've told you guys 2 things for me: business and also personal fitness. That's 2 of the biggest things for me. That and relationships. That's another one. The big 3. That's my big 3 right there. 3 things that I can be a whole heck of a lot better at, and from this time moving on, I want to be even better at it. I want to be cognizant of everything that I'm doing and take advantage of the moment, because I don't want the next 5 years to go by and stuff ain't getting taken care of. That's just me. Hopefully you guys are taking a little bit out of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the ocean behind me. It's beautiful. I've enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to come back sometime very, very soon. Some super cool trips happening next year, potentially. There's 3 on the board. 1 of them is secured. The other 2, I ain't figured out how to do it yet. So we'll see what happens. Got a Singing at Sea cruise. It's a Christian cruise. Looking forward to doing that. That's at the very beginning of 2026. But also Ireland and, let me back this up. Israel coming up, potentially. I just got told about it. Our church is looking at potentially going, I think it's May or March of next year. But then also North Carolina's playing a football game in Ireland in August of next year. So there's a lot of different, and my family is from, on my dad's side of the family, we are from Ireland. As a matter of fact, there is a pub in Dublin where they're going to be playing football that our coat of arms is posted up. And it's pretty cool. My dad actually mentioned this to me the other day. He had a t-shirt. He bought, this is way back in the day when kind of like he had like the Sears catalog and things of that nature. I forget exactly what he was buying it from. God bless. If he sees this, he's going to be, he'll call me about it. But he bought a shirt out of a magazine that he saw one time when he was younger. And it said Lowry's, had like this super cool logo on it. And he bought it. And screw it, why not? And this is back when he was living at home when he was younger, like a teenager. And he put the shirt on, and sure enough, it ended up being our coat of arms, and that's when he learned about all this stuff from his mother, which I thought is pretty cool. But, so yeah, there's 3 trips right there. I've never been overseas, I've never been on a cruise, and I've never been overseas. And I've always wanted to go to places like New Zealand, Switzerland, and Ireland, and also Israel, because that Bible right there is, it's real, and it's coming alive every single day. And I want to go see that stuff. And see all of what you read about. I want to see it come to life for me, and I've heard that that's nothing but what Israel is. So I'm looking forward to potentially knocking those out. Looking forward to turning 25 on Friday. Getting up there, man. I'm getting up there. Quarter century. Right? Let's go. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Be sure to hit that comment button. Like, comment, subscribe, do the whole deal. Smash the notification bell. I think that's what all the people say. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And peace out.